Hello, welcome to the self-learning platform by Dr. Sushma Singh. Today we are going to start Unit 1, History and Evolution of European Integration. Let us first have introduction about the unit. The European Union EU is a unique organization. It is unique in the sense that it is neither a confederation nor a federation. It is somewhere in between, a halfway house between a confederation and a federation. It is neither like the United Nations, an international organization of independent nation states, nor is it like the United States of America, a federal state. It is a supranational organization, an association of independent European states, which realized in the wake of the post-Second World War period that conflict among the European states could be counterproductive, and if they wanted to retain their traditional importance in the community of nations, a merger of interest was inevitable. If they could pool their resources, their respective resource position could be strengthened. Unite or perish were the only two alternatives available to the European states. They chose the first, and the result was a series of treaties and associations which finally culminated into the EU in 1992. In this unit, we will discuss the process of the evolution of EU. Now we are going to discuss origins and evaluation of the European Union. Victor Hugo was the first European thinker who dreamt of one Europe. Thereafter, the idea of a United States of Europe was mooted by Jean Monnet. However, the credit for the actual integration of Europe goes to Robert Schuman, the French foreign minister, who took the initiative in this regard. He proposed the formation of a European coal and steel community, ECSC, by pooling the iron ore and coal resources of Europe as well as their iron and steel industry under the regulation of one integrated authority. This plan was popularly known as the Schuman Plan. The six states of the Western Europe, France, Germany, Italy, Belgium, the Netherlands, and the Luxembourg agreed to form the ECSC and concluding the Treaty of Paris in 1951. These six states later came to be known as the original six of the EU. The ECSC was a successful endeavor. All the associated countries immensely benefited from it, and this led them to expand their economic cooperation in other fields. The next step in the evolution of EU was the formation of two more organizations under the Treaty of Rome in 1957. They were the European Economic Community (EEC) and European Atomic Energy Community Euratom. The EEC aimed at removing the trade and tariff barriers among the nation states and facilitating the free movements of goods, services, capital, and people within the community's region. The EEC eventually aimed at establishing a common market in Western Europe. The United Kingdom UK was invited to join the EEC at the time of its formation, but UK had some reservations regarding the proposed common tariff policy. The UK was in favor of the removal of internal trade barriers within the member states, but was not in favor of a common external tariff policy. The UK wanted some preferential treatment for its erstwhile colonies, which now constitute the Commonwealth of Nations. Britain also suggested the expansion of the European Common Market into a transatlantic organization on the pattern of NATO. However, Charles de Gaulle of France outrightly rejected these British proposals. The UK then took the initiative to form an organization aimed at fostering regional economic cooperation, the European Free Trade Association (EFTA) in 1959. The members were UK, Ireland, Denmark, Sweden, Norway, Finland, and Switzerland. The EFTA proposed to eliminate international tariff over the period of 10 years. The 7 members of EFTA were called the Outer Seven against EEC's Inner Six. The EFTA was a rival organization of EEC in Europe. It did not, however, survive for long and eventually disintegrated. Their members were then absorbed in the EEC. British Prime Minister Harold Macmillan applied in 1961 to join the EEC, but French President de Gaulle threatened to use veto to block the British membership. De Gaulle did not accept Britain as a European nation and termed it as the extension of the American continent. To prove his point, de Gaulle often cited the famous statement of the British Prime Minister Winston Churchill that the Atlantic is narrower than the English Channel, separating the UK from the European mainland. With the disappearance of de Gaulle from the political scene of Europe, the French opposition was blunted. De Gaulle's successor, Georges Pompidou, acceded in the British accession to the EEC. This led to the gradual disintegration of the EFTA and merger of its willing members into the EEC. Consequent to the treaties signed in January 1972, Britain, Denmark, and Ireland became members of EEC on 1st January 1973. Though the Norwegian government had successfully concluded accession negotiations, but it did not join because it failed to obtain approval in the referendum. In Denmark and Ireland, a referendum held in accordance with the constitution endorsed the Treaty of Accession. The expansion of the European Community continued in the following years. Greece joined the EC in 1981, followed by Spain and Portugal in 1986, thereby doubling the EC membership from 6 to 12. The end of the Cold War facilitated the unabated expansion of the EC. The fall of the Berlin Wall, which symbolized the division of Europe into East and West, the unification of Germany, the demise of the communist regime in Eastern Europe, and the disintegration of Soviet Union heralded the advent of the new unified Europe, free from an ideological divide. The accession of the East European countries to the EU constituted a significant step in the evolution of the EU. Even the members of the former Soviet Union applied and secured the membership of the EU. It no longer remained a Western European economic organization but became a truly European organization. Austria, Finland, and Sweden joined the EU in 1995, taking its membership to 15. However, the biggest and largest ever expansion took place on 1st May 2004 when 10 new members, Poland, Hungary, the Czech Republic, Slovakia, Latvia, Lithuania, Estonia, Slovenia, Cyprus, and Malta joined the European Union. This was by far the largest expansion of the EU, bringing its total membership to 25. The process of expansion continues till date and shall do so even in the future. In January 2007, Bulgaria and Romania also joined the EU, taking its membership to 27. Albania, Bosnia, Herzegovina, and Croatia, Turkey, and some states of the former Soviet Union and Yugoslavia are also keen to join the EU. Though Turkey has had a former relationship with the European Community since 1963, the formal negotiations begin only in 2005. The EU itself has accepted that Turkey, being a NATO member, is the fittest and strongest candidate for the EU membership. However, it has been denied membership so far not only because of its religious and cultural differences with the rest of the Europe, but also because of opposition by Greece, which has a dispute with Turkey over the issue of Cyprus. The consistent expansion has made EU an unwieldy organization. It is now characterized by wide regional disparities and a vast gulf in the living standards of the citizens of the different members of EU. The earlier social cohesion and homogeneity is missing. Its expansion is posing many challenges and has undermined its basic rationale that Europe will speak with one voice. However, at the same time, its expansion has made it a truly European organization. It has also made it the single largest market in the world, larger than the US or China. It has more than half a billion prosperous consumers whose purchasing power is among the highest in the world. Here we want to wind up today's lecture. Thank you so much for your attention.